everyone, this is Nemesis with another video review. This is the Transformers Power of the Primes Deluxe Autobot Jazz, or just Jazz as most of us know him. Yeah, it's one of the first four deluxes of the entire line, and the first wave, of course. And yeah, there he is as a race car, and in it, he came in this box right here. You can see it. There's the render of the car mode, his name, which of course, getting around trademark stuff, because yeah. Transformers logo right there, Power of the Primes, ages 8+. Up here, pretty nice artwork of him firing a gun, looking all serious. And over here, oh hey look, on this side right here, that looks a lot like Lita 1. Maybe coming down the line. Of course she is. You know she's coming down the line. And of course, got a bunch of warnings and whatnot. And hey look, there's the play pattern, all the Prime Masters, and how they attach to his little Prime armor, and there's the renders of him in his various modes, including the Prime armor, and there's a bio of him, Autobot Jazz. How will improvisational Autobot special ops agent wield the power of the Primes? All these seem to be asking that same question. Anyway. There's the car mode again. And with the car mode along in the box comes his bio card. Once again, same artwork, except more details. You can see shooting and him and stuff. Autobot Jazz. This one's yellow because it's amalgamous jazz. Shifts modes like a DJ mixing songs. Okay. Not sure what that exactly means. And of course, there's also, if I can get them here, instructions for Jazz here. In red and black. And again, kind of smaller than I was expecting. The instructions are smaller than they are in the Legends. It's a little bit more difficult to read, but nothing too difficult. But yeah, there's a car mode, and it comes with a little silver gun, painted silver, and his Prime armor / hand thing for combined mode, and something on the table. But yes, it's a white car. It's a white race car with blue and red stripes, like he's supposed to. And yep, it rolls pretty well. No painted rims, unfortunately. But then again, at the same time, race cars tend to not have painted rims because that's expensive stuff. Yeah, it rolls pretty well. No clearance issues there. No paint back here. Unfortunately, I wish there was like tail light paint picked out. But these are blue plastic right here. Blue translucent plastic for the headlights, which that's nice. And a little bit of red right here. Mine has a couple little paint splotches. Not sure why, but yeah, a little bit of red paint splotch. Going to be removing those pretty soon, but that's unfortunate. I believe mine also, and there's a couple of things here and there. You can see right like there, little blue bits of paint. But other than that, its paint's pretty good. Other than those two spots, also got clear windows, but that just means you can see everything inside. I'm not sure why you would do that personally, but I would just prefer to blacked out if meant not seeing the robot inside, but. I know some other people prefer otherwise, so, you make your choice. But anyway, it's a decent little car mode, actually. It's a modern race car, it looks like, and I like it a lot, actually. I know a lot of people are really down on this Jazz, because like we already got Classics Jazz, or Generations Jazz, or whichever line he was part of. We don't need that one, but anyway, speaking of, there's a old Jazz from the more recent. I think actually revealed the shield might be, actually. Yeah. You can see there's a kind of a difference in the whites here. This is more of an off-white, and this is more of a white. I'm not sure how well that picks up on camera, but there's a very different whites here, except for the roof here. They're roughly similar sizes. This one's a little bit heavier. This one right here is a little bit heavier, but this one's not that. It's not that much of a weight difference. Again, it's kind of the same issues of translucent headlights, no tail lights, but also unpainted rims. But yeah, this is a decent little car mode. It looks a little hatchbacky to me. I know they're trying to go for a Porsche, but yeah, it looks a little more like a hatchback to me. This looks like a more actual race car, so I think vehicle mode wise, I think this one is better for sure. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that, but I think this one is overall a better vehicle mode than this one. This note not bad. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I think this one's better. But yeah, it's just kind of an interesting kind of a thing where they're going for more of a, oh, this is more of a sports car and this is a race car. So kind of a difference there. Anyway, yeah, the accessories. You can see multiple peg holes, 3 of them up here. You can peg the gun to any one of these. If you wanted to use both at the same time, you got to peg it off to the side. I mean, there's this. You can attach this to the back, but that looks a little silly. What you're supposed to do is take the peg, fold it down, and peg it in the top here. What happens is from there you got these. It looks kind of like thrusters on there. So I guess he's cheating. He's also got this. This is where the Time Master is supposed to go. Also going to become a gun, which if you want to store it, you can kind of guess put in there. Although you put it there. There you go, it's stored. I don't have a Prime Master, but I do have a Titan Master. And that just goes in like so. Plugs in. And that's what I guess gives them a boost in power. Yeah, you can do that. You can, you can take these things and wrangle them down a little bit if you want. Make it a little, I guess, more streamlined looking. But yeah, that's how this more or less attaches to here. If I can get that out. Yeah, there's one little thing I gotta fix on this thing. There's just one little tiny thing I gotta fix. There we go. Fixed it. Now Jazz is a lot better. So anyway, getting him into his to a limb mode, we're gonna go ahead and go with the leg mode first because that's the closest to his vehicle mode. What you want to do is you got to unpeg the sides here, untab them, unpeg them, whatever you want to call it, and then lift the whole top up like this. From here, you take the combiner peg and move it up. And you move this down like this. You got to get these tabs right here. Those tabs right here go into those slots. More or less, you got to get there's multiple hinges here. You got to get it all lined up properly or else it won't work right. Oh yeah, you also got to move the arms back inward. And then that all tabs in. And boom, you got the leg. But there's no foot thing or anything because these are just hands now. But yeah, there's a feet thing will come with the Voyagers. And yeah, that's more or less the foot. I mean... yeah, that kind of looks from the front. It looks like a shortened car with a hole in it, but yeah, it's all right. It's a leg mode. It works. It's fine. Yeah, but arm mode though, you gotta move that forward, untab that, untab these from each other, then fold them open, extend them out, close them back up, open this side up, extend it out, close it back up, then tab them back together. Like such. Let's see, how is this supposed to go? Trying to remember how this goes on the shoulder. It sits weird. See, also rotate this like that, or other way if you want it to be the other arm. I believe this. I'm trying to remember exactly how this is supposed to go in. It's been a while. I think it really, yeah, okay, yeah, there it is. That's it. There's these tabs right here. Kind of hard to see maybe, but there's tabs right there. There's little slots right there on the arms. And that's where those go. It's not the most secure connection, but it will kind of hold. Okay, then you take the hand foot, or the hand thing, pull the fingers out, and then rotate one of the thumbs down. And that's a hand, and you just got an extra thumb, unfortunately. Plug it in, and boom, there's his arm mode. Ready to go. And again, it's very white from a lot of angles. You got this stuff, but yeah, it's kind of just, he's going to have this, whatever combiner is going to have a really big shoulder on one side. Yeah, he's got this typical, kind of a double jointed elbow. It can curl up pretty far because there's not a whole lot in the way. It's a pretty clean arm, I'll say that. It's a very clean arm. So it's got that. It can do that. It can rotate here as a bicep swivel. You can undo that by mistake. I think that's going to be the big thing, is this is going to untab itself pretty easily. That's going to be the big problem with this guy into the future. I can just see it. Of course, you got the shoulder joint, clicky, and forward and back as well. Yeah, that's the limb mode. And to get the rest of the robot mode, fold that back down. Rotate this forward like that. Split them back up. You got to open these back up, and so you can get to the feet and clip them down in place like that. Make sure they click all the way down. Same on this side. I'm gonna do it from the front this time. Open it up, push those forward until they click into place. Close it up. Those legs straightened out. And this whole thing up here, I'm gonna move the camera up a little bit. Yeah, this up here. Take this whole assembly is still loose. You open those up. And up here, you unpeg the hood from the rest of it. Move that up like that, and then fold that in on self. There's a little slot here for this big tab. Fold that in on self. Rotate it underneath. Goes underneath like that. It's gonna fill it out. Take the head. The head goes up through the slot. You fold this down. And then these little tabs, clear tabs right here. I'm not sure how well that's coming across. That goes in these slots right here. Do that. Move the arms down. And you've got Jazz's robot mode. And yep. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. Adjust the focus. There you go. Right, so Jazz's robot mode. I like this actually. I know, again, a lot of people were really down on this guy, and I really can't figure out why from the looks. There's a couple weird little problems on him, but robot mode, he looks pretty solid. I mean, he's got the blues and right places. He's got the hood chest like he's supposed to. He's got the, little silver vent legs and whatnot. Everything about him is actually pretty solid. So I'm kind of actually honestly lost as to why in the world people don't like him that much. And I don't know, I guess just different tastes and whatnot. I mean, I like him a lot. I mean, he's, again, pretty cleanly picked out and everything. It's, I mean, you got this, I mean, he's got the black shoulders and everything, wheels on the shoulder. Everything's about him just right. He's got the visored face, and it's a pretty cleanly picked out, I would say. Yeah, pretty much, yeah, pretty cleanly picked out visor on there. Silver face, blue visor, everything's right there. No, not like say Robots in Disguise Jazz, who was he was a thing. Yeah, Robots in Disguise Jazz was definitely a thing. I mean, you can he's got his gun you can put in either hand. Pretty simple. Any gun. The prime armor, again, you can peg it on. You can peg it on here as a buckler of some sort. You could also, if you don't want it there, you can store it in the back in one of these holes. It's, this hole's tight enough so it doesn't rotate too much, so it can just kind of sit there. I mean, if you want it to be a jetpack, unfortunately, you kind of have to have it sitting really low, and that just looks weird, unfortunately. But the cool thing is, well, not that cool, but if you rotate this peg around, these little tabs right here, there's little tabs on the thumbs. You can see those? They go in these little slots right here in the grill. It's kind of hard to see. You kind of have to also angle it a little bit. It's a little weird. You have to angle it like a very specific way. And it's not the greatest connection either. But it kind of can hold. It's just not a solid hold. Yeah, see, you can... Yeah, see, that's the thing. I moved a little bit, but you can kind of see what I was going for there. It's just really difficult to angle this in a way that's actually useful, I should say. But you can do it. It's just not a great hold. It's very tenuous. And it looks a little dumb, if I'm going to be honest. So I don't like to do that. So, yeah. If I don't want this hanging around anywhere, this pretty much just chills out on his back. That's what I do, personally. Have it chill on his back. That way it's pretty much out of the way. I don't have to worry about it. But, yeah, I really don't understand the complaints against this guy. He wound up kind of becoming... I wasn't coming in expecting to like this guy this much, and I really like him a lot, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. He's a pretty solid deluxe. I mean, I think there's one that's definitely better in this particular wave, but he's still a pretty solid deluxe overall. I think part of the problem is just his previous deluxe iteration in this Generations line was kind of really highly regarded. So you get a weird... Yeah, it's kind of, you got that weird problem of just the previous version is so good, it just, this one had to do the impossible to live up to it. Here is the original, or the first Generations-ish Jazz. No, I was not transforming this guy off camera. Shut up. But yeah, you can see this guy's a little taller and whatnot. This is actually, again, this is a really solid figure. This is a good figure. This is a great figure, actually. So I think that's what's the problem is this guy just kind of overshadows this one. And so because this guy doesn't quite live up to this one, people think this is a bad figure. It's not a bad figure. It's a great figure. It's one of those things where it's just he had to live up to this and he didn't quite measure up, unfortunately. So I think this is overall still a better figure, especially in robot mode, but this is still a good one. If you can't get this one, which, yeah, this guy's become kind of difficult to come by at a good price. This guy's still a solid Jazz to have in your Generations collection. Your Generations scale collection. I would highly still recommend picking this guy up if you don't already have a Classics Jazz or a Reveal the Shield Jazz. I'd still get this guy if you don't already have a Jazz in this scale. But Articulation, though, his head is actually on a ball joint. It can't do a whole lot of wiggle, but it's there. So you can also look up and down. You also can look left and right quite a bit. That's good. Shoulders, gonna go forward and back, outward. This weird hinge, so it's kind of weird, but yeah, they can do all that. They are ball jointed elbows, so no bicep swivel. So, but you know, you can still left and right, still move forward, a little over 90 degrees. So you still got good articulation there. He's got a waist, but because of how it works, this back plate hugs really close. So what you want to do is kind of have to move it out a little bit, but then you get a waist which is pretty free roaming. But, you know, yeah. If this is back plates hugging close, then it doesn't move as much. But you know, it won't hinder it too much. One thing though, I almost forgot about this. The wrists. This is a weird thing. You can see that is clearly a mushroom peg. These wrists should be able to swivel, but because of this panel right here, the best you can do is maybe wiggle them a tad. I mean, see, I moved it just at like a couple degrees. That's about all you can do. And it's one of those... Hasbro, what? It's weird. I don't know what the heck that's about. It's just kind of... It's a strange thing. I don't understand why they put wrist swivels if they're immediately hindered. I'm wondering if this was supposed to originally fold up and they just didn't remove the swivels or what. It might have been something like this slid or folded or something, but they changed that. Possibly reduced parts count. Any which way, there's wrist swivels that don't work unless you modify the car and modify the figure and basically make the car mode ugly. You got the hips though; they're on ball joints, so they can go forward pretty far. You get the back plate out of the way. They can also go back pretty far. They go outward about yay far. Thigh swivels, those are pretty good. Knees, about 90 degrees. You can untransform it, but those go to the center, so it doesn't really work. I would not recommend it. No foot articulation, but they're, again, A-stance molded, so he looks pretty good. I think this is a pretty darn good Jazz. Overall, he's actually a pretty good Jazz. He's just overshadowed by his previous Generations iteration. It's just, if you don't have that one, which there's a chance you don't, because he's hard to find now, I would go ahead and pick this guy up. He's just a good Jazz, period. This is a good one. It's just that there is a better one out there, but you got to go hunt it down. This one is much easier to get. So if you don't already have a Jazz, go ahead and get this guy. If you do already have a Jazz, you probably don't want to bother unless you're just a Jazz fan and just really want to have a ton of Jazz figures, which is, yeah, go for it. Again, I went from having no Jazzes to having 3 in 1 year. Go figure. So, I've always liked the character, just never got the toys. But yeah, this is, again, a solid figure. It's a good figure. It's actually, I think it's probably the second best of the deluxes right now, of the Power of the Prime deluxes, Wave 1. He's probably the second best. And it's just, again, he's just overshadowed by a previous better iteration. So yeah, the other thing is just, yeah, the one thing where some intern or something snuck something stupid on there. But beyond that, I would say pick it up if you don't already have a Jazz. If you don't already have a Jazz, if you're just a huge Jazz fan, I think he's a solid figure overall, period. He has a great alt mode, and he has a pretty solid robot mode, and he's got pretty solid articulation mostly. He's just got a couple weird, like, what kind of limitations? Again, that weird wrist thing is the big problem here. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on this guy. I hope you found this informative or entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe below. And I shall see you next time with another video review. So, see you guys.